return again. This captivity ain't permanent, no. I'm from Jerusalem. Hey, we'll return again. This captivity ain't permanent, no. Sitting on an album that'll change my life. Should I?
Salama family, what's going on? What's going on? Sorry about that little technical difficulty getting started there. How is everybody doing tonight? This is your man, Brother Atur, and
this is Isha G. And we just wanted to hop on here real quick because we just did a show with Teo Ministries, and there are a lot of questions in the comments from some of our brothers and sisters who are still in America or just wherever you are. That want to come to the continent, but they're still not sure how to transition to the continent, whether it may be a financial situation or a health situation. So we just wanted to get on here and just give a bit more information or in-depth information on some of those questions. So we talked about a lot of things over there, and all we know is from us being here and seeing others here, we know that it is possible to relocate over here to and to thrive over here. You know, we talked about a little bit with the things that's going on over there with Kyrie and different things like that. And it's just point blank, if you're tired of it and you feel like you want to leave or you feel the Most High calling you to leave, you definitely can. And I'll just say this real quick, and we'll say it again at the end. If you want more information, we are not charging for the information, for consultations and everything. Just hit us up, shoot us an email, because we want our brothers and sisters to get out of Babylon. It's literally that dire right now for our brothers and sisters to get out of Babylon. So a lot of people say, well, I don't have the money, you know, to really go right now. Let me tell y'all something that we did. We were paying rent, right? And even though it didn't work out for us, but what we did, we broke our lease. And so the money, you could break your lease, and the money that you save, maybe you break your lease and you go stay with somebody for a couple months. The money that you save is enough money, honestly, to come over here, get your plane tickets, and to come over here and to get something going. So you can break your lease. I know a lot of people don't want to do that because they're still worried about credit, but there is no credit system over here. Unless you're planning on going back to Babylon, it's no reason for you to be concerned about credit. So if you're a renter and it's just you and maybe your husband that's staying there, rent in the U.S. in a lot of these places like $1,500, $2,000 or more, you can break your lease and you can save that money and you can get your plane tickets and you can come over here.
There ain't nobody coming over here to get you. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. Ain't nobody coming over here to get you.
Unless, like I said, unless you planning on going back, which I don't suggest, why are you concerned with credit? Just do what you have to do to leave. And then the other thing is, I know somebody made a comment about they're on Social Security. Well, we know people over here that are on Social Security and they're still pulling their Social Security and their retirement and they're living here. So you can use that money and live here. And the thing is, that money goes such a long way when you're over here. And so you could use that money and you could actually get something going over here. And then another thing was some people don't want to start a business because they're older. I talked about volunteering. You can volunteer actually and get your residency while you're over here through volunteering. You could find a company or a program, whatever that you want to volunteer with. Or like I say, if you have a nonprofit already in the States, you can start a chapter over here on the continent, and then you can get your residency that way.
And with that, we have lawyers over here, legit lawyers that can get that set up for you. So again, like my wife said, if you guys want to contact us, you see it down there at the bottom of the screen scrolling. It's our email, steppingstones2home@gmail.com. Just hit us up and we can get the information to you. We can get your information to those lawyers and they can reach out to you via email and you guys can start the process of talking about either getting a business started over here, the process for that, or if you have a NGO or a business already in the States and you want to open a chapter of it here on the continent. So we just put it out there. Just hit us up.
Right, because there's multiple ways. And I know, yes, if you look at the prices for starting a business over here, getting your residency permit, it can be pricey. But that's why I say look into other avenues that you have in the U.S. because there are lots of different ways that you can save up that money so that you can get over here. If you're working right now, maybe you should take on a second job working at night, delivering something with DoorDash or something. Do that for a couple months and save up your money so you could get your plane tickets to get over here. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, so we talked about how the Mexican people are, right? The Chinese people are, and we see it even over here. They come together, they put their resources together, and they help one another. So why is it that we can't do the same thing? Why is it that everybody is always thinking about number one, not thinking about how we can help each other? Some people don't have all the funds. They may have the funds to get here, but they may not have the means to secure a house over here. They may not have the means to, or secure it for a year over here. But we need to learn to come together and to put our resources together to have the things that we need. So just like my husband, he gave an example of how the Mexicans do it. I remember standing across the street from them, and it was like 10 people that lived in the house. And like we say, they used to have the nice cars. All of them end up getting brand new cars and stuff. How? Because they all put their money together, living in that one house, and they make sure the first person gets their car, the next person get their car, then the people get their houses until everybody has.
Yeah, you got to be selfless, and that's one of the things I was mentioning on when we was on Yakova's live was that one of the biggest problems our people have is they only think about themselves instead of thinking as a nation. We have to be our brothers and sisters keepers. If we say that we want to do unto others as we want done unto ourselves, I want someone to help me to accomplish my goals. So in order for me to do that, I got to step out on faith and help that next person get to where they're trying to get as well. We got to work together. We got to put in the effort to have together, because guess what? If we come together as one nation, there's nothing we cannot do.
Right. So when you come over here, you may have to bump 3 families in one house, but one of y'all start a business. You get what I'm saying? Take the money and y'all start a business or start a business together. And y'all start building up your income like that until you have enough money to help start the next person's business. And then you have money to start the next person's business. We have to have that type of mindset to help each other in that way. The other thing is for the ones of us that come over here and we start businesses, we can actually start hiring people. Because even though there's a thing that says, oh, you can't get a job in Tanzania, that's actually not completely true. You can get a job in Tanzania. The locals and the local businesses here, they don't like to employ the foreigners because they want their people to have the first dibs at those opportunities. But if you come over here and you start a business, they cannot tell you that you cannot hire a diaspora in your business. So if the diaspora come over here and start these businesses, then we can start hiring the people that are coming from abroad in those businesses. But we do have to understand that the money is different here. So don't expect to be getting paid 2,000 USD per month. But if you have mama, daddy, or a few people in the house that's working, you put that money together and you can build like that. We have to learn to desire to want to help each other in that way again.
Yeah. We see it in a lot of Chinese households will do this. They'll all come together and they'll put their money together. They'll either open up a laundromat, they'll open up a restaurant, and they'll put it in one person's name, but everybody puts money into it. Once that place is making good money, now they take money from that and the money that the people were already making, they put it together, they open up another one. And so that's why you get all these chains and these Chinese restaurants, Chinese-owned laundromats, so that everybody is getting set up. Now, if we can set each other up and not sit here and say, oh, well, I want to be first. I want to be, why do they get to go first? It doesn't matter who goes first. What matters is we are setting ourselves up so that we can accomplish things. We saw it in America with white people. Y'all know we weren't taught nothing about credit systems or nothing when we was in school. But them white boys and girls, their mama and daddy was teaching them about how to have credit, how to set up 401ks, how to set up IRAs. Look, my mama didn't know nothing about that stuff, so she couldn't teach me that. But guess what? We know stuff now. And so now what we're supposed to do is teach these things to our children so we can leave a heritage to them and set things up also for our brothers and sisters, because I'm supposed to love y'all children like I want y'all to love mine. So I want your children to do well as I want you to want my children to do well.
Right. So, and you can't focus on the things that the other experiences that other people have had over here. Some people have had bad experiences, but there are a lot of good experiences over here as well. And even though, yes, they try to do things in the government to keep our people from being able to come, guess what? People are still coming. And people are still getting residency. People are still opening up businesses. But like I said, it's not that it's not going to be challenges, but when those challenges come, you speak Yah's word and you speak his word over these people that's trying to cause you to have a hard time. You speak his word. You start speaking judgment over these people and watch him move for you. His word is true and we have to start using it. It is our weapon. And so the other thing is, I know somebody was talking about medicine and just health things over here. It is a good idea to research when you come over here, the hospitals, and if they even have the certain medicines that you need. At the same time, I would suggest looking into natural stuff and starting to wean yourself off of the chemicals, because even though they may have these medicines here, we don't know how long they're going to have them, because they get their medicines from these Western nations. Most of them. So when the Western powers fall, you may not have access to these medicines anymore. So you might want to start weaning yourself off of these medicines. Do your research. If you have a doctor over there that is willing to talk about natural stuff, start asking questions about natural alternatives to the medicines, plants, and stuff that they may have in the States, or for sure that they have here in Africa. There are actually natural doctors over here. You can have consultations with them over here. We went to a natural doctor over here, and I was asking him questions for my sister, and he was like, yeah, she can call and have a consultation. I can tell her what things she can do. So you actually have access still to medicines over here, and a lot of times you can still get the natural medicines over here. And then we have professionals like Sister Siobhan. You guys know her from T3andMe. That's what she does, natural medicine. So have a consultation with her to find out what things you can start using for your body if you are going through with something in your body. But also, like, we know there are countries like Kenya and South Africa. They have amazing healthcare there, healthcare systems there. So, they have a lot of these medicines. So that's not even something that can keep you there, because they have it here.
And I just want to add to that something that we've learned just being here on the continent. The food over here is real. And you will see a change in your body just from the fact of eating real food. Y'all know the food over there in the US and all these European countries is not real. Y'all saw China making plastic cabbage. Come on now. But the food over here, real oranges, seeded, the way the Most High said he made it for us. All this stuff over here is real. For my meat eaters, look, grass-fed animals over here. I'm not filling them up with injections and steroids and everything. So your body is healthier with the food here on the continent because this place was made for us. So just with the natural medicine, there's natural food here as well. For a lot of people, there was people who came, had symptoms of different things, and talking to people, once they started eating the food here, a lot of those symptoms went away.
Right. And like I said, you can ask a lot of these I don't want to say backwoods locals, but literally the ones that live out, they know the medicines to use. You know, these people, they live in villages and stuff. They don't go to no hospitals. They have medicines, bushes and stuff that they know that heals all sorts of things out here. You know, so just do your research when it comes down to that. So don't let your medical condition be a hindrance if you want to leave. Just do your research and you can find alternatives, or you can find a place that has the medicines that you need. And I guarantee you, it ain't going to be nowhere near the cost that you paying in the States to get that medicine, even with your insurance. So that's the thing about that. I do want to say, for those that are just want to get out, but they're like, you know, I just know that I'm not ready for that type of lifestyle. Journey with Us, she does videos all the time on this about different places that you can go. Kenya has a lot of amazing things there. Kenya, if you're looking for places where you can go to the theater, you want to go to the museum, they have parks, you know, they have lots of things for you to do. Kenya actually has that stuff. And so does South Africa. So does Namibia. You know, Ethiopia just opened up this big behind amazing park. You know, so it's lots of different places that you can look into if you want that type of lifestyle. If you want more things to do, you don't have to come to a country like this one. There are more places that you can go, you know. And then there are the digital nomad visas for those of you that work online, which during the pandemic, it put a lot of y'all online. So you can actually work online, bring your job over here, and still be making money. I know people over here that do that now, and that's how they survive. And then you have countries like South Africa. You have countries like Namibia that have the digital nomad visas where you can work from home, and they allow you to get visas there for a year, 2 years, some of them, where you don't have to leave. So those are things for y'all to look into. If you want to come, you can come. If there's a will, there's a way. You know, that saying is something that it sounds so cliche, but it's so true. If there's a will, there's a way. If you want to get out, you can. But I do believe that our brothers and sisters need to start helping each other out more. When it comes down to the ones that come over here and open businesses, open up your businesses to your brothers and sisters. You know, have the mindset of how can I employ a manager for this position? You know, diaspora. Those are the things that we need to be doing. If you have land over here, you bought land. Maybe you have 2-3 acres, but you know you're not going to use all of them. How can I build a second house on my land so that if one of the diaspora come, they have a place to stay? Those are things that we need to be doing over here. Those are the things that they do here. In the area we live in, the British people got a whole neighborhood on lockdown here, the whole neighborhood. And you can't even go in. I'm talking about white British people. You can't even go to look at a house in their area because they all coming running outside talking about ain't nothing for rent. Ain't no houses available. They've been doing this stuff over here. We can do the same thing. Yes, these people going to get kicked out. But for the time being, we can do the same thing over here. Same thing with the Chinese. They got their whole neighborhoods and stuff over here because they go and set stuff up for their people. They'll go if they have the money and go rent 2, 3, 4 houses in this area. We know a dude right now, he just bought the whole doggone beach plots up, beach plots. And he literally told our friends, like, I bought all this for my friends and my family to come. White dude. So it's the same stuff that we can do if we have the mindset to do stuff. So not all of our people are broke. A lot of our people do have money, but it's just we just selfish. We just a selfish people, and we always looking out for number one. How can my household have this? How can I do this? But not looking out for how I can help the next person do it. So it's endless possibilities. Out here, we talked about the land. You could get land for an acre for a couple $100 out here. Some places less than that. We looked at land, 25 acres for, how much was that?
10 million T shillings, which is
10 million T shillings, which is about $4,500 for 25 acres, y'all. If I had it, I would have got it.
And look, bunch of fruit everywhere you could look. You had coconut trees, banana trees, orange trees, water, because you could do a borehole, so you have plenty of water. Natural plants, edible. There's so many different edible plants here. It's not even funny. There's so much here that you can eat. And it's things that we've seen in the U.S. that the government has come in and cut those type of plants down, remove those type of trees, because they didn't want you knowing that it was food, because they wanted you to depend on them for the food. But over here, you can eat about just almost anything over here.
Right. How many of y'all know? Y'all know those big old plants look like big old giant elephant ears? I know they grow like wild in South Florida. So I had no idea that yams grow underneath those. The roots of them have yams. And they're edible. So here, the food is everywhere. It is literally everywhere. You walk, you see mango trees, you see banana trees. And then the people, sometimes you're going to run into people. You got bad people in the States everywhere. You got people that don't like you in the States. So don't think that it's going to be any different anywhere you go. It don't matter that we're the same color. Anywhere you go, people are people. That's the saying that I have, and it has never led me wrong. People are going to be people, and that's just it. So you're going to meet some good people. You're going to meet some people that ain't good. But you will find people. You don't have to worry about the language barrier. You don't have to worry about that, because it's going to be a lot of people here that are willing to help you. A lot of people here that you don't even know they speak English. They speaking to you in Swahili. Come to find out they know English. A lot of them know English. They just don't want you to know that they know English. But you meet a lot of friendly people. Like, we just moved into a new house. We still trying to get ourselves settled in here. A new area, learning the new area, learning the people. And we wanted to plant some banana trees because our yard didn't have banana trees. And the house we just moved from had just like almost like a banana forest. So we told the neighbors, like, where can we get some Zuccotti bananas? They call them sugar bananas. And so we sitting outside, this mama comes walking down the road with a big old banana tree on her shoulder. Literally, she came and brought us a banana tree from her yard. And we like, well, how much? And she's like, we grow these everywhere in our yard. You don't have to pay us anything. And so they're friendly like that. When we first moved into this neighborhood, we didn't know where things were. The lady was like, look, I'll have my daughter go take y'all around so you can find this, and this. Anything you want. They're so friendly here. It literally depends on the spirit that's inside of you. We haven't had a lot of issues like a lot of other people over here. But it's because we show ourselves, I don't want to say just show ourselves friendly. We show the love of Yah. One thing, we had some extra food. We had a bunch of lamb. We couldn't eat all that lamb. We went and bought a whole lamb. And so we shared it with our neighbors. We dispersed it, cut the lamb up, and what we had left over, we shared it with our neighbors, And that's just how things are here. The people are friendly like that. We share with each other. If you don't have it, they'll give it. If you don't have money to give, it's okay. Not everybody is going to be out to get you. Some people will try and take advantage of you. You do have to be mindful, but not everybody is like that. And I can say the majority of people I have come across, or we have come across, have not been that way.
Yeah. I want you to take a look at this question here. What is your advice for those of us that are planning to come to the continent alone?
If you're planning to come to the continent alone, I would say reach out to not just one person, a few different people who you know are already on the continent that can give you the information that you want or that you're looking for, that can point you in the right direction of Airbnbs, can point you in the right direction of good areas to live in. And I say it's a lot of people here that came along. It's a lot of single women we know over here that came over here alone, and they all right. So it's just all about connecting and getting the right information. You don't really have to worry about making friends and different stuff like that. You're gonna meet people. Trust me, when you get over here, you're gonna meet people. And you're gonna meet a lot of that diaspora in a lot of these places. I can only speak for Tanzania right now, but I know diaspora are going everywhere right now in Africa.
Yeah, and I would add to that, look up different diaspora that have went to different countries and watch their videos and see what they said they dealt with while being there. Like my wife was saying, don't just take one person's experience. Now, your experience is still going to be its own when you get to wherever the Most High is sending you on the continent, or if he's sending you to the Caribbean, wherever he's sending you. But watch the different videos, and then you take the different things. You take the pros and the cons of the different people's experiences, so that way you're prepared for anything. Preparation is always the key. Preparation is always going to set you on the path you need to be on.
I'm also going to say, download some of the apps that you know, or write down some of the apps that you know are used in these countries, especially when it comes down to rides and different things like that, because you might not have a vehicle when you come over here. But like where we live, we have an app called Bolt. Uber, I think, is still in some of the African countries. It's not here anymore, but we do have two other companies that's just like Uber over here. But they are in certain areas. But find out from the people what apps it is for when you need a ride to go places. Find out just different apps that they use in the country. How does money work? How is money transfer in the country? Where we are, we have something called M-Pesa, Tigo Pesa. We Tanzania apps where we transfer money. So find out about the apps that you would need while you're in that country. That's going to help you maneuver the country well. You can ask questions about if you're looking for places to go, good places to eat, good places to hang out. Ask those questions, because we've been there, like downtown Dar es Salaam, been there, done that, was busy as heck. It wasn't for us. It was literally the stepping stone that the Most High used to get us here. So do your due diligence, reach out to people and ask specific questions about your transition here to the continent. And you're going to meet other people that came here along also.
Warriors Dream, what's going on? Salama, what opportunities are there for work in TZ? I hear that visitors from abroad can't get a job that easily, or should a newcomer rely on remote online work?
I'm going to say remote is definitely easier, but it is not impossible to get a job here. If you are in the medical industry, if you're a doctor or a nurse or something like that, if you are a teacher, you can get positions over here in Tanzania. There are countless opportunities when it comes down to starting businesses here, because this country is at the stage that China was at about 30 years ago. And it's endless opportunities over here. You name it and they need it over here. And the thing is, when it comes down to operating things appropriately in a logical, effective manner, that is much needed over here in every industry you could possibly think of. If you are a photographer, when it comes down to real estate, they need help because the pictures are terrible. You know, you could start you a business taking pictures of the homes for the realtors to post on their websites, because they literally go out themselves and take pictures. The houses be upside down. They don't tell the people to move the stuff.
The pictures be upside down, not the house.
Oh yeah, well the pictures of the houses be upside down. So it's endless opportunities. If you are a realtor, that is an opportunity because they need more real estate companies, especially in areas that are outside of Dar es Salaam. These areas really are untouched. Everybody likes to run to Dar es Salaam or Arusha, but there are areas outside that are untouched where they really need people to come in and do things. So I mean, it's pretty much anything you want to do. Construction companies they need out here. I'm gonna be honest. We need some of our people that know law to come out here and learn the law out here, so we can have some people for us out here because you actually can. So we need things like that. We need people to come out here and open up doctors' offices. You know, more doctors' offices because, like I say, Dar es Salaam they have them, but a lot of these other areas they have hospitals that don't have efficient things. They don't have the right staff, you know, to do things appropriately. A lot of times they don't even know how to in some of these areas. They have just basic care. So it's broadening your horizon and just thinking outside the box. But yeah, you can do online here, or you can, if you're in one of those higher fields, you can get a job here. You know, you just have to find out who's hiring. I know a lady right now, she has 2 schools and she just hired a foreigner as to run her school because the locals just weren't cutting it.
So there's opportunities here, you know. I also want to touch on what to expect when you come to the continent. All right. So people always say, oh, these YouTubers, they don't tell us how it really is over there. No, this is not America. No, this is not Europe. Okay, it is not as aesthetically nice building wise. You don't have the modern buildings as much as you do in the US and in Europe. You have a lot more natural beauty here. Is everybody nice to you? No. Are majority of the people nice to you? Yes. And so let me put it like this. Anybody who's in the chat or watch this video, if you don't live in Florida or you don't live in California and you go to Disney, when you get to the line for the tickets, you're going to see a resident of that state price and you're going to see a tourist price. They treat you as a tourist because you're a tourist. You're just visiting. So that's how they make their money. They want you to spend as much as possible. So when you come to African countries, which are called quote unquote third world countries, and they see you, most of the people they only see like once or twice. Yes, they're going to charge you different from how they charge the people that they see every day or at least once or twice a week. Because when they see you once or twice a week, they know, oh, you live here. You're not just visiting here. You didn't just come here for a good time. So yes, they are going to charge you a little bit more. But if you continue to shop, if you move here or any African country and you go to the little shops and they continue to see your face and you're talking to them, you're making an attempt to show yourself friendly, I guarantee you're going to see prices change for you.
Right. Because that's definitely how it is. We just moved into this area and the people, like, they have already started, looking out for us and everything because we go around, we speak, we purposely walked through the neighborhood so we can allow the locals to see our face, to let them be familiar that we live here. Hi, how you doing? Do your best to learn some of the language. That's the other thing for the young lady. Do your best to learn the language, some basic words, and be very proactive wherever country you go to learn the language.
Yes, and for those of you who want to go to a country that speaks Kiswahili, we can link you up with a teacher here who does lessons for teaching you the Kiswahili that's spoken here in Tanzania and what's spoken in Kenya. All right.
And it's literally what she charges, I think about $20 a month.
Yeah.
For that. So you can learn that because the Swahili is different for Kenya and Tanzania. Still Swahili, but they don't share all of the same words. The other thing is, like we were talking about what to expect. No, if you've been to Jamaica, you've been to the islands, and you see the little shacks on the side of the road where people are selling food and stuff, it's the same here. It's the same in a lot of the African countries. They don't have a lot of big stores and everything like that unless you're in one of the major cities. So you're gonna, when you come here, expect to see the shacks on the side of the road. Expect to see in some places trash on the side of the road because a lot of them don't have garbage cans on the side of the roads. Like when you walk down the sidewalks in the States and stuff, ain't no trash cans on the side of the roads here. Matter of fact, ain't even no sidewalks in most of the places. Matter of fact, ain't even no paved roads in a lot of the places. So, but it's okay. You know, it's okay because
it will come.
It will come. And also we got the natural stuff here. We got natural food. We, you know, in good health and everything over here. So it's like, it's a trade-off, but it's definitely far better over here. The other thing is, what else can you expect?
You can expect they are working on the power grid. So I don't know when some of y'all might be coming, but a lot of African countries deal with this because they are working on beefing up their power grids. You can expect the power to go out sometimes.
Right.
You can expect sometimes for the water to be out sometimes.
And I would say the water more so for certain areas. So do your research on the areas. Look at the map, okay? If you see areas in whatever country you're looking for and it's brown around certain cities, that means there ain't hardly no trees and stuff. They might not have a lot of water there. You might want to go somewhere where you see a lot of green. So like Dar es Salaam right now, Dar es Salaam, they don't have water, but they go through this every year in Dar es Salaam. During this time of year, it's like a few weeks where they start having a water shortage. And then they wait for the rainy season because the rainy season is right around the corner. And once the rain starts, the water, you know, flows again. But there are other areas that don't deal with that because they are connected to mountains and waterfalls and lots of streams and everything. And so they have constant water, you know, and that's like the area we stay in. We don't deal with water shortages here because of those things that are all around. So those are things that you can expect to deal with, but you can cope with those. Buy you a generator. Buy you a solar generator, you know, get you some electrical panels and have somebody hook them up for you. You know, they have electricians here and they don't cost a lot to have them do the work for you. So there are things that you can do. Get you a well dug, like they don't care. Get you a well dug. The people that own the houses, they be very appreciative for you putting a well in their yard. So those are things that you can do if you don't want to have to deal with power outages because in the country we're in, it get hot. It gets real hot here.
Yoto Sana.
You know, get you some solar operated fans or something, but it's ways to cope with those things. There are ways around all of these things, but just be looking for those things. Have your mind ready that this is what happens in Africa. It's not America. It's not Europe. It's not China. Like, this is Africa. You know, it's not going to stay this way because this is Abba's land, but this is what you have to look out for and prepare your heart for it.
Yeah, you got to remember. Well, let me speak for myself. This is how we feel. The things that we're going through here in Africa, the Most High is preparing us. I said this on Yakoba's show, that he is forcing us to depend solely on him. He prepares everything for us day by day. One of the biggest problems our people had, we see it from the Old Testament to the New Testament. We was hard-headed. We didn't want to listen. We wanted things our way, not his way. And all he ever wanted us to do was to trust in him and to believe that he is the beginning and the end, that everything starts with him and ends with him, that if you belong to him, you have nothing to worry about. But like my wife said on Yakoba's show, in the U.S., You need some money, you can go to a payday advance place. You can go do some DoorDash, do some Amazon Flex. We don't have none of that over here. You literally have to depend on the Most High. You have to depend on the Most High. And I know for those of you who will watch this video and be like, oh, well, don't people send y'all cash apps? Yes, that's still the Most High. Why? Because people felt it on their heart. The Ruach moved in them to send something to us. So that's still depending on the Most High. We have to trust and lean on him with all of our understanding to understand we're in the wilderness. We are preparing for him to return.
Right. So that's the thing. Another thing is, if you have a little bit of money, you got you a few $1,000s, maybe you're a person that was privileged enough, blessed enough, I say, by the Most High to have something like 50,000, 100,000 saved. You can come over here and start your microloan company, because it's a lot of the locals over here. They want to start businesses, and it's cheap to start the businesses, but they don't even have that, to start a business with over here. But you can come and start a microloan company where you loaning out loans like $200, $300, $400 to locals that want to open businesses and things over here. It's so many things that we could do over here. You could open up a school over here, and you can open up a school that's actually affordable, like the local schools, but you actually offer the material that they really need to educate the children over here, because the educational system over here, when you go to the local schools, is not great. You have to put your children in private school here if you're a diaspora, if you want them to get the better education. But you can come and open up a school that's affordable and provide good education for the children over here. Put a library inside the school. It's amazing to me, because we know a young lady, she wants to go to the library. She wants to read books because they don't have access to books to read over here where we are. And so it's little things. We take so much for granted in the US until you come over here and you just like, man, I just can't believe that you haven't experienced this. Simple little things like having a book to read, So it's lots of things that you can do. It's lots of things that you have to prepare your heart for over here. But you can do it, and ultimately the Most High wants you to get to a place where it's quiet, it's calm, where he can deal with you, And
I want to say this, just to kind of put some things into perspective. Now, I'm only speaking about Tanzania because it's the only country we've been to as of now. Most people are, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but just from our family members we talk to, they're paying almost $500 USD a month for groceries. That's just groceries in the US right now.
One of my sisters is paying $1,000 for groceries for her family
a month, right? So $500 that you're spending just on groceries here is about 1.1 million of the money here. So if you're just spending that on groceries, imagine what you could do with the other money that you're spending on your power, your water bill, all of that.
To Jaden, or I don't know, Judean warrior. So yes, it is much needed over here, because most of the stuff in the stores come from China or somewhere overseas. A lot of you have to be real careful with getting things built over here, getting furniture built over here, because a lot of them don't take pride in their work yet. That's one thing that we have to show our people, how to take pride in your work. Like, they need carpenters desperately over here, because we had a young man make us a sofa. We actually had to have two made. The young man, I'm guessing he ran out of material. First of all, it was supposed to be done in a week's time. He told us 3 days. We told him, no, we're going to give you a week. So when the week was up, we went to pick up the sofa. He wasn't there. The sofa wasn't even halfway done. He didn't even have the material on it. He just had the frame together. We had to chase this man down. So he finally got there and said the sofa was finished. When we came, I'm guessing he ran out of material, and he had a big old patch of a material, a different color on our sofa right in the front.
Like we wasn't gonna notice.
And so, you know, we literally had to have him make him give us our money back. Because you can't take people to court here. If they take advantage of you and take your money, you can't take them to court here. And we've had people who were able to get their money back because people had taken advantage of them. So I literally recorded everything and had him on video and had him sign it. And he gave us our money back. We didn't have any problems. But we had another young man make a sofa, and it needed to be cleaned. The minute it got clean, the wood buckled and pulled apart. So you do have to be careful when it comes down to carpentry and stuff here, because quite honestly, it's hard to find somebody who's going to do quality work. So we need carpenters over here.
And not to mention, they pretty much eyeball a lot of the stuff here.
Right. Even though they have access to tools over here, the mindset here is a lot different. A lot of them have access to tools, but their mindset is, I'll make more money for my pocket right now versus let me take part of this money and save it so I can get the proper tools so that it can make my job easier and I can make sure that things are done more precise. They don't think like that here. They think, just let me get it done. It's good enough. You know, I'm not going to buy the proper tools. They have the tools out here. They have levelers. They have electric tools. They have everything out here. It's just a lot of the locals, they just don't use them. You know, so yes, there is definitely a need for carpentry. If you build kitchen cabinets, oh my Lord, I have a story about that, but I ain't gonna go into it. But let's just say I cannot put a stove in my house, even though I want to. But if you can do kitchen cabinets, if you know how to do doors, you know, if you know how to build any type of furniture, we need carpenters out here. You know, what did it say?
So perhaps we can help the brothers and sisters over there to raise the standards, help each other to grow and do better manufacturing and do better business.
Yes, because that's what's needed. They order everything from China over here. Like literally, they order everything from China unless you get one of the locals to make it for you. But the standards have to be elevated over here. But there's nobody here holding them accountable to say this is the correct way you do this. And when they want to cut corners and say, no, we're not going to cut corners. We're going to do things in excellence. You know, teach them everything that you do it as unto the Most High. Because a lot of them say that they Christians, we have to teach them to have those standards, to take pride in the work that you do, whatever you do. Take pride in it. Make sure you're doing things and you're not cutting corners, because they will cut a lot of corners out here to save money. So they got more money in their pocket.
And Miss Carol, first of all, shalom, my beloved sister. I hope you enjoyed your time out here when you came. To get the solar panels, it's actually pretty easy.
They sell them everywhere.
Everywhere. They sell them on the side of the road. There's businesses that have them. There's companies you can call that will come out and do an estimate. So solar panels is very easy to get out here.
Yes. One thing that we are in dire need for out here, we need mechanics. Okay.
Yes. So let me say this before we talk about the mechanics. So if your car is paid off and you have the financial ability, bring your car with you. Okay. The new cars, there are some new cars here, not that you can buy. There are some new cars here that pretty much it's the government, you know, they have something worked out with Toyota. They get brand new vehicles from Toyota. And other people, they ship cars from Dubai because it's right there. But most of the cars here are old 5-hand, 6-hand cars, if you understand what I'm saying. And there's no getting new parts here, not for a reasonable price. So most of the parts that you're going to find are going to come off another car that was broke down, and they're going to put it on, see if it works. If it works, your car is good to go. If not, they're going to keep looking for another car that has the part. You got a lot of backyard mechanics, as we say, the under the mango tree mechanic here.
Yes. So, and they ain't gonna necessarily put the pieces back where they go. If they can't figure out how to get it to fit, they'll just tie it or tape it to the side of the car underneath the hood somewhere. So we need mechanics out here desperately. So if there's any diaspora that's coming and that's a mechanic, please, we need your help desperately. It's manufacturing is definitely a way to go. When you come out here, that's something that the diaspora, a group, can do. Come together to think of a manufacturing business and start manufacturing out here. Right now, one of the biggest reasons that a lot of the countries, African nations, didn't want to get involved with what's going on with Russia and Ukraine and stuff because they wanted grain. So one thing we found out, they don't grow a lot of their wheat and barley and stuff out here. They don't grow it, even though they can, but they don't grow a lot of it out here.
So all my farmers, all my people that's in the agriculture, you can come here and you can get you some land, because like we told you, the land is cheap. You start growing that wheat, and you can become a major manufacturer of wheat here on the continent.
Yes. So they need manufacturing for everything. If you work in a manufacturing company, you have that type of experience, or you have done your due diligence and you have the money to purchase a manufacturing machine or for whatever. They need manufacturing out here desperately. And that's not just for Tanzania, that's throughout Africa. That's one of the biggest issues that we have on the continent, is we don't have manufacturing out here. So for all of our things, we're running to these other nations to get them because they manufacture everything. So manufacturing plants we're in dire need of them out here on the company. Yes, furniture manufacturing. Yes, we need bolts and nuts and screws and everything like that manufactured out here. They have iron workers out here, but guess what? They don't polish their work out here when they're making the iron. So we need people that can manufacture iron parts and everything for houses, for businesses. Just we need so much out here on the continent. Right. One brother, he brought up a real good point, but we were laughing, but he was like, one of the reasons why they look at white people and other Chinese and stuff so high is because they know how to do so many things. He was like, look at how simple a match is. He was like, I have no idea how to make a match. And so they look at them because they're able to manufacture these things, but our people don't.
And here's the funny fact. They don't know that it's our people that are behind these things, but the white people are taking credit for it.
Mm-hmm.
So they look at them like, "Ooh, look what they can do," not realizing, no, it was an African taken from the continent that made this, and the white people just took credit for it.
So it's lots of different things that you can do out here. When you come to the continent, your first day, you'll come up with 10 businesses that's needed. And like I said, it may not always be easy to get things done, but you keep pushing, just like we had to do in America. We didn't let stuff stop us in America. Y'all not letting stuff stop y'all now. Anytime adversity comes, we push and we overcome adversity. And it's the same thing that you can do out here when adversity comes.
Shalom, Brother Kenneth. How you doing? Yes, sir. They do have, you can buy farm equipment. They have tractors and everything out here. The problem is the only people that can afford it is going to be your Chinese, your Arabs, and people of the persuasion of the Caucasus Mountains. You know what I'm saying? So, but yes, they do have that type of equipment available out here.
Yes, they do. And if they don't, you can check other countries nearby that have the equipment. We know that South Africa, they do manufacture a lot of stuff. And also Kenya has a big manufacturing industry as well. So you can get things shipped from those areas, and it's going to be a little bit cheaper because it's actually on the continent versus it having to be shipped from China. So there's access to a lot out here. You just have to come here. Sometimes you do have to search, but it's here. One of the biggest manufacturing things that I think the continent needs is just machine manufacturing in general. We can manufacture machines, then we can manufacture everything. So it's a lot, y'all. But I just wanted to come on here and talk about those things. Just if you want to come out here, it's ways to come out here. And if you're a person you're alone and you're coming out here, I would get with some other people, find a group, get with some other people. Or if it's somebody that's coming out here, that's on some of these chats, Teo Ministry, get with some of the people and see what y'all can do to put your heads together and see what you can come up with when you come out here. It doesn't have to be hard. For some of us that have taken the bumps and the bruises, we see ways that it could be easier for our people when they come if we could just work together. Don't be selfish with your money and be like, oh well, he only got 5,000 but I got 20,000, so you know what, if you can't match what I'm putting in and I can't go in business with you. That's the wrong type of mindset and attitude to have. The point is to help each other. If he only got 5 to put in, don't be that way. You help each other and maybe you can work that out down the line. But the whole point is really to get things situated so that we can get more of our people here. If we start a manufacturing company, you know how many of our people we can employ?
Yeah. And really quickly before we jump off of here, we just, for those of you who want an update about the parks, according to the government here, they had to go back out and redo some measurements. So we're just waiting to hear back from them.
And also our drawings, there was something that they needed to verify on our drawings. So we had to send our drawings back in to go back over things with the government. So that's another thing, getting things done here. I'm gonna say in Tanzania, and they have a saying called pole pole for a reason. It's kind of like tiki time if you go to Costa Rica, but it's probably a little bit more extreme out here. So sometimes it can take a really, really, really long time to get things done out here, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to get done. I've been itching to get these parks and stuff built, but the Most High is teaching me to be patient. The Most High is teaching me that everything is done in His timing. So I can't force the government to do nothing. All I can do is trust the Most High, and when it's time, it's time. But we're waiting for them to finish what they're doing, so then we can finally go out to go pay for the permits so that we can start on the parks. How long that's going to take, I don't know, because actually this month is a year since we started this process.
Yeah, but the Most High had to make us realize also, Tanzania has only been a country for 60 years. So there's a lot of things they are still learning how to do. So we're not planning on going nowhere until the Most High tells us to. So, we're here. We still doing work. We're still going to be doing things. So that's just one of the things that the Most High is having us do here. So, but I just wanted to update you guys. The parks are still going on. It's just out of our hands right now. So we're just being patient with it.
Another thing I just wanted to touch on very quickly. I know people say, well, what about the governments in Africa and stuff? Look, the government is bad in America. The government is terrible in America. Y'all see what's going on. Y'all trying to flee from there. So governments around the world, the Babylonian system is everywhere. It's here in Africa too. So they got their puppets in office everywhere on the continent. So we have to wait for the Most High to do what He's going to do, not concern ourselves with that aspect of it, pray Yah's word, and we keep it moving. So don't even worry about the governments and, oh, I heard that this government is like this or this government is like that. I heard that. don't concern yourself with that. Whatever the Most High tells you to do, you move and know that He's going to make a way for you. It don't matter what they say or what they do. So it's gonna be adversity anywhere you go. It ain't gonna be no government that's perfect. It ain't gonna be no government that's what you're looking for right now because the kingdom has not come yet. So that's the government we looking for. We ain't gonna find that, y'all. But we have to just go where He tells us to go and just focus on Him. And we see shady stuff going on all over the continent. We see some stuff that's going on all over the continent, and we like, Most High, we need you to move now. He's doing things. Trust me. He's doing things. And I want you to remember, for all of us, we're the people. We know who we are. 2/3, He said, is only going to make it in the kingdom, right? That's only going to make it. I'm sorry, 1/3. 2/3 ain't going to make it. That means for even our people here on the continent, something going to have to happen. So don't come over here thinking that it's going to be peaches and cream. It ain't, it's just blue skies from here on out. You can have a good life over here because we be chilling. I ain't gonna lie. But just remember that even the people here that refuse to change, judgment has to come here as well.
Yeah, so I just want to take a quick minute, real quick. Thank all of you guys for taking time out of your busy day. I know it's daytime over there, it's nighttime here. For just coming on, hearing what we had to say. We love y'all. We appreciate the support. If you guys would like to support, at the bottom, you see scrolling down there, you can become a Patreon member at patreon.com, Stepping Stones to Home. You can also send a Cash App to us at $SS2 home. But most importantly, you can hit that like button, subscribe, and share our videos with your friends and family and on all your social media. That would be a big blessing to us as well.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. And I know we haven't been on here a lot. We're having some internet issues out here because some of the companies were bought.
Yes.
And they changed the internet packages where you don't get nearly as much internet anymore.
And it goes a lot faster than it was before.
Yes. So the internet for us, I would say, because we living off the Most High here. So for our household, I would say it just became a bit pricey for us to be on the internet doing videos like we would love to be. So we had to cut back on doing videos for that reason because we still need data for our phones and different things like that we need. So that's why we haven't been on here. Also, like we said, we relocated to another area. It's a lot slower. I'm thankful for this area.
We love the mountains, y'all.
And we had to transition into our new home. And so it took a good bit of time for us to find a home out here in the area we're in because there's not a lot of houses available. That's another business right there. They need real estate built out here desperately. So it took us a while to find a home because a lot of the homes are not in good condition and a lot of the areas outside of Dar es Salaam or Arusha. So to find a house that we could live in, and I really mean could live in, it took us a little bit longer than we thought it was going to take. So we've been in a transitioning stage here. So we haven't been able to get on here like we would like to. But I pray that we are starting to get settled and everything now. And so I pray that we'll be able to do more videos, especially more videos about helping y'all get out here, because I know that's the most important thing right now. It's important for our people to be focused on the Most High, our ball players to let it go. Just let it go. The dream is over there. Just think about starting a professional team on the continent. Just leave it alone. And so we want our people to come, and we want you guys to be prepared mentally and spiritually when you get here. So just Focus on the Most High. Trust the Most High. Let Him lead and guide you. And remember, He got you. No matter how hard it gets, He got you. We ain't starved not one day.
Not one day. So love y'all. Y'all be good. Enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. And y'all be good. And we'll see you next time. Salama.